Hey, Mom. Can you see me okay? Or are things ripply or weird? I don't know what's going on with the internet signal. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Michelle. Not sure about the signal. I had a really hard time getting on. If it's lagging too bad, I'll drive down to the road. Hey, Nina. How are you? How is everybody? Before we get too far into it, I was going to make sure that the signal's going to hold. If it's not, I'll have to drive down to the road. Yeah, it looks pretty patchy to me. Good morning. Can you see me or can you hear me okay? Right. I wanted to draw your attention to the left side of the screen above the fence rail. That red, all that red. Okay, good. I wasn't even going to bother to... the leaves are changing. It's really lots of red patches. Okay, good. Okay, now I can't get it turned around. Because I waited too long. Dadgummit. Come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. And then it turns around and your face is like right there in the screen. Hey, Rhonda. So, okay. I've been trying for nearly an hour to get on here. I was about ready to give up and go down to the road. It bounces back in quick. Okay, so it's definitely lagging. It's a no makeup Sunday here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Oh, me too. Me too. Love the porch swing. Hey, Linda. Signal's super patchy, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in here because I don't know how long it's going to hold. So, happy Sunday. I'm still here. I was supposed to go to Loganville last night, but Sarah had today off, so I don't have to go till later this afternoon. I'll probably go this afternoon, like 2 or 3. Anywho, so then, what's today? Sunday. So then Monday, I'll be broadcasting with babies, and then Thursday and Saturdays. Anyway, my name's Michelle Wolf. You can find me here at caddyshackdesigns.com. Here's a list of everything I do. Okay, we'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for the loves. We'll take it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Volleyball Sunday. Across the top of caddyshackdesigns.com are tabs for everything that I do. My books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I was up at 4 in the morning with my next book idea and a way to figure out the book that I'm trying so hard to finish now. Bye, honey. Have a great day. So today, I woke up thinking about what a chronic whiner I am. So then I wanted to talk to you about a couple of ways I've been able to shift things in my life through acceptance, through letting go of whining and practicing gratitude instead. But let's do the reading first, in case I lose you. Because if I lose you, I probably won't be back till tomorrow. Today's lesson from A Course in Miracles is number 298 in the workbook, part 2. I love you, Father, and I love your Son. Us collectively as the Son. My gratitude, you guys would not be surprised probably to know how many times my subtext matches the lesson for the day. I usually wake up thinking about it. If I don't have an idea, I might journal a little bit first, and then I'll get an idea, and then I'll go to the lesson and be like, well, what do you know? It kind of matches. My gratitude permits my love to be accepted without fear, and thus am I restored to my reality at last. All that intruded on my holy sight, forgiveness takes away. And I draw near the end of senseless journeys, mad careers, and artificial values. I accept instead what God establishes as mine, sure in that alone I will be saved, sure that I go through fear to meet my love. And love is capitalized in that last sentence. Father, I come to you today because I would not follow any way but yours. You are beside me, and certain is your way. That's the only certainty we have, right? That connection, that love. And I am grateful for your holy gifts of certain sanctuary and escape from everything that would obscure my love for God, my Father, and His Holy Son. Certain sanctuary, certain rest, relief, respite from the pounding, nagging of our brains, our chihuahua brains that bark at us constantly, our chronic whininess, referring to myself. I'm a chronic whiner. I'm a lot better than I used to be. Let's say I'm a lot different, because it's not better or worse. It's just I don't want to be a chronic whiner, but I am still kind of a whiner. So gratitude's the key to unraveling all that. Gratitude and forgiveness. Gratitude leads you to forgiveness. Forgiveness wipes those clouds away from the sun, so we get the full force of the sunlight, because we sweep all the clouds of negativity and whining and illusions and fear. All those things obscure. Where does it say that? All that intruded on my holy sight, forgiveness takes away. We can't see it. We can't see the good when our sight is obscured by negativity. We can't clear negativity out until we acknowledge it. Family trait. Yeah. Our family does have a tendency to sit down to a great meal and point out the one or two things that are wrong with it, rather than the 98% that's right with it. Well, it's awesome, and well, except, there's a little too much pepper or whatever. I don't know why we feel compelled to point that out, rather than just eat the damn food. But we do. I don't want to keep doing that forever. Gratitude and appreciation opens the pathway for change. Something you read or something you journal inspire about. It's usually something I wake up thinking about. How we do the reading and then I tag a little extra something on there. The little extra something is usually something that I wake up thinking about. Or, go to bed thinking about and think, I should tack that on in the morning. And it generally fits with the reading. Not always, but sometimes. And today I was thinking about my wife. Well, actually, yesterday I was thinking about, yesterday I was thinking about how whiny I still am. Because I was being a big whiner about having to go to Loganville. I don't like to be away from home. My preference is to be at home. Obviously, I want to see the twins too. So then I'm stuck. I can't be at home and help take care of the twins. So I have to find a way around that. Yeah, there's a long lag. Am I freezing up or anything? That's okay. Well, keep commenting. We can track it. The subtext is in the title, Michelle. Okay, not what I'm reading to you from the book. So when I put making ACIM useful in daily life, what comes after that is whatever I thought of. Whatever was sent to me to think of, because I don't claim responsibility for all that. I'm smart, but I'm not that damn smart. So, this is all related to being a whiner. Things don't shift when you whine about them. Nothing shifts. Okay, good. Nothing can change until it's fully accepted. Marianne Williamson says that better in one of her many awesome books. Okay, good. It won't change until it's totally accepted. That's not a new concept. That's a Buddhist concept. That's a Christian concept. Accepting God's will or accepting the state of reality as it is has to happen first. And sometimes that can't happen till we get the negativity out of the way. So whining is wanting things to be different than they are. When I'm whining about something, it's because I want something to change. I'm fighting against reality when I'm whining. Kids do it too. They whine about stuff. They want something to be different, and they sometimes can't articulate what they want different, so they just whine and carry on a lot and make you want to smash them. And I kind of want to smash myself when I hear myself really whining and carrying on. Like, there's like a chronic little grumbly whine thing that I think is just part of who I am, and I don't worry about it. But when I'm really on like a whining tear, like I'm just rant, rant, rant for more than a few minutes, I'm like, thank God I catch it. You know, I'm grateful for that, because I'm like, oh my God, what are you fucking whining about? My God, you've been whining for like an hour. What is it? So it's like, well, I want something to be different. And it's hard for me to remember that. Well, first I have to catch myself, right? That I really want something to be different. And I have to remember then that if I want something to be different, whining won't do it. Gratitude will do it. The many times that I was in situations that I didn't like, let's just say jobs. So the last 3 times I made a career change. Well, yeah, I've been trying for a while. I mean, a long time ago, do you remember that book that came out and there were bracelets and everything about no complaining, or you're supposed to not complain for 30 days? I couldn't make it like 30 seconds. I was complaining about not being able to complain. What was the name of that book? It was several years ago. So I started working on this several years ago. I can't remember the name. A World Without Complaint. Is that it? A World Without Complaint. I had a purple bracelet, little stupid rubber bracelet and everything. By the end of like 2 days, I wanted to hang myself with the rubber bracelet. Bitchy, whiny. It's all the same. It's wanting something to be different. If we're bitching and bitchy, it's because we're fighting against reality. If we're whining and moaning and complaining, it's because we're fighting against reality. And until we accept reality and find things to appreciate, it's not going to shift. We eventually go numb to it again, or we just bitch and whine and the people around us change it, but then that leaves damage behind, and that's no good. So, I don't want the girls to feel like they can't ask for stuff because I'm a big whiner. I want them to be able to ask, and then, they have to accept whatever my answer is, and I have to take responsibility for saying yes or no, based on my energy, the level of my energy tanks at the time. Excuse me. So if you're going to stop whining, you have to be willing to say no when you need to say no. Whining is an unmet need. So I have a weird thing about wanting to be home all the time. That's a kid thing. That's an anxiety thing. And it's something I can investigate the story of. The story being that I need to be home all the time. I don't need to be home all the time. That's ridiculous. The cats are fine. They're not going to starve to death. Heath doesn't feed them the persnickety way I feed them, but they're not going to die, and they're going to be just fine, and they have their outside playground. Yeah, so I want to be home all the time. If I wasn't careful, I could be like an agoraphobic person that never leaves home. And the more that I can internet shop even for groceries, I can see a real, I feel safe at home too. I do, because nothing can come at me, and it's unlikely that somebody's going to cross my path that's going to want something from me. It's complicated, but I like being home. I'm a homebody. So part of my reluctance to travel a lot is because I feel like I need to be at home. So there's a push-pull there that I think I can make better. Anyway, the whining. When I was in jobs before that I absolutely hated, I had outgrown them. I had taken all I could take. I had learned all I could learn, and I needed to go. But I needed a job to go to. So as hard as it was, even when I was like bawling on the way to work and whining the whole time, yes, I love staying at home. I love it. I love to be at home. The way I was able to shift and see opportunities, there's opportunities all around us, but we won't see them if we're whining or bitching or angry or whatever, because our head is down. Energetically, our head is down. energetically our energy is contained and small. If we're grateful and we're appreciating the things that we can find to appreciate, even when they're minuscule, our head is energetically up and usually physically up. So we make eye contact with people. We start conversations that we would normally start. We get led to breadcrumb trails that lead us out of the situation, but only when we appreciate it. We can force our way out, but that's hard. It takes a lot of energy, and often it doesn't work very well. It's often messy. If we want to leave a situation, we can leave it with love. Sometimes when people leave their marriage or break up with a partner, they turn it into, I have to hate this person in order to leave, or I have to find a reason to leave. You don't. You have to think about it. It's complex, and it's not a light decision to make, but you don't have to hate someone to leave them, leave a relationship. You don't have to hate a job to leave it. And in fact, if you're in a state of hatred, it's very likely you're going to leave one person or one job and connect with the exact same thing down the road, because you won't have changed anything. What we resist persists, right? What we reject just follows us like a puppy, peeing on the floor and chewing up our shoes. So the way I was able to get out of those 3 jobs, and I made a progressive step in every job out of social services. I went from full-blown casework. I went to working for the state. Then I, back into casework, and then I went to the SART team, which was 3/4 time and no direct client contact, although clients were easy to deal with and some of the professionals and the politicians I had to deal with, and then out of that environment completely. So if I have to take a job now, I will go into retail or something. I will not go back to casework, because why would I do that to myself? That would be crazy pants. Anyway, at the worst times, the worst job I left was at social services in Colorado. I was miserable. I was having nightmares. I was having secondary trauma syndrome symptoms. Mortgage company to bank to mortgage company to bank. Same thing, different day. Yeah. Oh gosh, I wouldn't recommend it. Right. Because when we run right into the arms of the same darn thing. Yeah, Rhonda, it's very rarely is that a successful career for people. They generally move out of it. The lifespan of a caseworker is about 18 months. On a national average, about 18 months is how long people last before they have to move. So, bawling on the way to work, waking up from nightmares. I had a client who was determined to make a lot of threats. Lots of clients threatened my life. Lots of threats. Never took them seriously. This woman, I think if she could have found me in the parking lot and done something, she would have. I just felt like she meant it. See, I don't know. I think retail just sounds, I could be wrong. I did retail as a kid, and I don't remember being particularly fond of it. But these days, I think it would be nice to go stock some shoes and go home. So even upset and even on the way to work crying, I would sit at my desk and write things that I could appreciate about my job. I do, most of the time. I'd love to work at a bookstore. We don't have any around here, but if I had to, I'd rather, I like what I'm doing now, and so I'm still going to attempt to grow that coaching stuff, but it was very hard to find things to be grateful for. Sometimes all I could find is gratitude for a paycheck, because casework does pay well. And I had insurance then, and so sometimes it was just one or two things. But I would do whatever I could to find some gratitude and appreciation. And that led me to a breadcrumb trail of stumbling across a job notice that there's, had I been doused in misery the entire time, I never would have, series of unexpected events led me to a website that had a job opening on it that turned out to be the job for me. But if I'd have been totally miserable, I would have been sitting and griping about stuff instead of exploring for opportunities. Counseling those needy hearts while putting shoes on the shelves. I totally would. It would happen. People tell me the most random stuff. My dentist once disclosed his sexual abuse history to me during a filling, and I was like, wow, this is really, I think probably wildly inappropriate, but it is what has happened to me my whole life. I can stand in the grocery store and have someone start crying next to me and need a miniature counseling session. Just like the kid at the hotel in Florida needed a seriously like a 4.5 minute counseling session on our way to the airport, out of the hotel to get in the car and go to the airport. While we were loading it, he was getting some counseling. His thank you notes on my Facebook page somewhere. Yeah, I do. It doesn't startle me anymore now when I just stop what I'm doing, I take a deep breath, and I just listen. And then they go on and I never see them again. I need to start sending invoices for these things. I need to say, yes. Not the shorter, chubby one, but the tall, thinner kid with the dark hair, looked real clean cut. He's headed for the Marines. And he was very sad about his father. And his father is a DEA agent. It was really sweet. He sent me a really sweet email. I am. Yes, that's exactly right. And without the hair. And those fingernails. I love her, by the way. I know people make fun of the Long Island medium, but I love her. So if you're struggling with the situation, I guess my point is that clearing the way to a solution comes through gratitude and appreciation and forgiveness. Forgiveness for the situation. I adore her. She's awesome. Because ultimately, what is that doing? It's bringing us back to our connection to God. It's bringing us back to our connection to the divine beloved that has all the answers and everything that we need. And whining is just another cloud. And being bitchy is just another cloud. And all of those things obscure the answers that we're searching for. We don't have to search for them. We just have to shut up and listen and love our situation and forgive ourselves for getting ourselves in a mess if we did it to ourselves, and forgive others for whatever as best we can. So we're not perfect, and we don't even have to be perfect. We just have to take a step in the right direction. What is that saying, that you open the door a crack and God comes rushing in? And it's true. We just have to slightly shift our trajectory over to an open, softer, bodhicitta, soft heart, openness. We can't receive if we're not open. And breathe. Breathing is the first step. Good point. Breathing is the first step. Take a big, deep breath when you catch yourself being a big, fat whiner, or bitching somebody out, or bitching at yourself, or bitching about a situation. I'm a champion whiner. Like, I deserve an award for my whining ability. I have a friend on my Facebook page. Her name's Erin Jemison. She's also a chronic whiner, so we sometimes just congratulate ourselves on our ability to whine about nearly everything. But, and I joke, and sometimes I'm whining in a lighthearted way, and I'm complaining just to make people laugh or whatever. But when I'm seriously whining, I'm blocking myself from the solution that I want. I'm whining about a problem, and the act of whining is preventing it from being solved. That's ridiculous. That's completely backward thinking. So, if you're trying to change a situation, You're not happy about it. Breathe, first of all. Second, forgive. Forgive yourself for whining. Forgive the people involved. Forgive the situation for being what it is. Accept it for what it is through forgiving it. And then start to look for things that you can appreciate no matter how small. If nothing else, you can appreciate the fact that you caught yourself in the process of blocking your connection to the divine. The teeniest, tiniest little bit of appreciation starts to open the flow for more. The more you look for things to appreciate, the more you will find, and that opens you more, and your solution can come to you. If there's a solution hovering around nearby, it will come to you a lot faster if you just settle down. Just settle down. Just stop it. Stop it in a loving way. Because beating yourself up about it is the same energy, right? And we do those things because we think we have to solve our problems alone, and we don't. We slip back into powerlessness because we feel like we don't have any help. Like we have to do it all ourselves. Like I have this damn problem on my hands and I've got to figure out how to fix it, and we don't have to figure out how to fix it by ourselves. We forget to ask for help when we're whining. So that's another thing you could throw if you wanted to make a flow chart or a list of step-by-step directions for how to get yourself out of a bad situation, no matter what that situation is. A bad job, having a crappy neighbor, anything. Having to drive 2.5 hours to see your grandchildren 4 times a week or whatever. Yes, it's very, we think we have to figure it out by ourselves. All of us do that. We're also raised in America with the whole concept of do it yourself, be independent. I don't see corporations being independent. I see them propping themselves up on tax dollars, but that's a different scope. And I can whine and complain about that for a while. So, let's read that one more time, and then I'm going to close up here. 298. My gratitude permits my love to be accepted without fear, and that restores me to my reality. All that obscured my holy sight, forgiveness takes away. Everything in the way between me and the divine flow is taken away through forgiveness and gratitude. And I draw near the end of senseless journeys, mad careers, and artificial values. I accept instead what God establishes as mine, because I know in that alone I will be saved. That connection is the only saving grace there is. And I dip into it and I fall out, and I dip into it and I fall out. But the connection to the divine, the open, soft heart, that is your salvation. That is your answer. And it's answered before you see it in material life. It's answered. And then you open your eyes and you cast around and you keep your head up and you'll see it come to you through a person or an idea or a job offer or, you know. I know you guys know this. I go through fear to meet my love. Through it. You acknowledge it. You don't reject it. Breathe. Forgive your whiny butt. Be grateful equals opening up to the divine. Somebody screenshot that and tweet it. Breathe. Forgive your whiny butt. Forgive yourself for whining. Going through fear is different than rejecting and fighting against fear. Okay, go through it. Just go through it, acknowledge it, feel it, get your negativity out on paper if you need to, and then open up to the love that's just beyond it. You are beside me, and certain is your way, and I am grateful for your holy gifts of certain sanctuary, and escape from everything that would block my love for you. Everything. Hey, Natasha. Natasha, we're just wrapping up. Hopefully you can catch the replay. The bottom line for today is to change something, appreciate it. That's it. To change it, appreciate it. It's really not that simple though, right? We got to accept it first. Like Michelle said, breathe, forgive your whiny butt. What was the third one? And then it will change. Guaranteed every time. And I bet you can look back in your life and see times where you solved problems through gratitude and love. Oh, darn it, Nina. It'll probably be, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my rural location and our crappy internet. Hopefully the replay will work. Okay, I'm going to go. And I love you much, and have a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow for this, and in the afternoon or sometime later Monday for an essential oil. If there's an essential oil you want me to cover, DM me. You're welcome. DM me on Twitter, and then let me know if there's a particular oil you'd like me to talk about tomorrow. Hey, Mama Dog, we're just wrapping up. Hopefully you can watch the replay, though. We had some fun discussion about catching ourselves being big whiny babies. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.